to have a brief discussion about deleting medical collections. Medical collections. Medical collections are one of those things that affects our credit. And as it affects our credit, we sometimes don't know how to deal with it, or we actually get affected by something that sometimes doesn't have any bearing on our credit story. As I often say in our discussions, that please understand that your credit history is your financial identity. Your consumer reports, which, and I use the word reports, is different reports on different aspects of your life. So it's important that we understand the things that affects us and how to address them. All right, we want to discuss medical collections. I want to give us two ways that we can delete medical collections that both the CFPB and also the credit bureaus have made available. I did a video a few weeks ago on public records, and I gave two ways how to delete public records. Here, I'm going to give two ways in this how to deal with medical collections without doing any everywhere or any heavy lifting. Don't have to do any factual disputing. Don't have to do any tricks and trades. You just go there. Once you know these two things that I'm going to tell you, you can get the medical collections deleted off. One of them is very widely known and is very widely presented, which is the dollar amount. As long as it's on $500, it's not supposed to be on your credit report. So a lot of times credit bureaus are not going to put the medical collections on your credit report if it's under $500. So once you have a collection, if they miss that in their oversight, you just write a letter and allow them and remind them that medical collection that is under $500 ought not to be on your credit report, and you get it deleted. So that is one way to delete the collections. But what if the collection is over $500? There's another way to get it deleted without any hassle. One of the things that the credit bureaus actually do, a lot of people don't really know this, and I hate saying that, but I have to say it. And it's not that I know more, but I'm just saying it's not information that is widely known. If the collections is less, if the medical charge, rather, is less than 1 year old, it's not supposed to be on your credit report. We say that again. If the debt that you incur for the medical services is less than 12 months, 1 year old, it ought not to show up on your credit report. Credit bureaus have made this a policy that medical collections that is less than 12 years from the date that the services was rendered will not show up on your credit report. If the collector tried to do that and put it there, you just write the letter stating that according to the policy and the standards that you have established, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, you have agreed that any collection, medically speaking, that is under a 12-month period from the date that the charges were incurred ought not to be on a consumer report. This actual collection, the services was rendered less than 12 months. And if you have proof of that, you block out the necessary information that you need to block out, and you send in the proof, and they will delete it off because it's less than a year old. Why is it that they do that and why they volunteer that? Let me give you the rationale behind it. Medical debt are one of those debts that is kind of challenging, that has third party involved in the processing of the debt, such as your insurance and doctors and all of that sort of stuff. Because they submit the debt, they sometimes have other parties involved that process their billing, and then you have the insurance that actually deals with the payment and the billing of the debt. And sometimes that process takes a while actually finalize. Sometimes there's back and forth negotiation between the doctor or the medical provider, depending on what the service is, over the billing and how much will be charged and how much they are willing to pay. And the insurance might draw out the process, which is something that is not your sole responsibility. So as a result, they deem it to be unfair to put it on prior to a year. So they use the 12-month period as a reasonable amount of time to determine whether the bill should stick or not. So that is why you are able to use that loophole to get the collections off your credit report. If the collections is older than the 12-month period since the service was rendered, and it is more than $500, then those two tactics won't work. Then you would have to use the other tactics or strategy, rather, that we would use to remove regular collections, which is to dispute the accuracy, dispute it from the perspective of verification, whether the debt can be verified, dispute it from, and another thing, the medical information has to be reported a certain way, according to the FCRA, the Credit Reporting Act. So pay attention to the information that is listed in the reporting of the debt, and sometimes that can be able to help you to actually get off the debt as well. So those are the two ways, the two ways, plus the regular collection strategy, where you try and get the debt verified, because once the debt cannot be verified, it must be deleted. And the verification, they can't just come back to you and tell you that it's verified. There's a process that must be followed. Look on my video that I did. Don't be terrified if they say that it's verified. And I walk you through the process that you need to go through in order to verify any account that you challenge. Your verification is concerned. All right. I hope that this was helpful. May the peace of the Lord be with you. Irony Financial with another one. We're out. Medical collections. Just to recap, if your medical collections is under $500, that's an automatic deletion. Check it. Look on the cost. Make sure it's off. Even though the brewers will try their best to not put it there, sometimes they just do the information because they're processing billions upon billions per piece of data points per month. So some things is going to slip in. If the medical services was rendered less than a year, then it ought not to show up on your credit report prior to 12 months being passed. If 12 months is passed since the service is rendered and it's more than the $500 as well, then you use the regular collection strategy. Try and get the account verified, challenge the verification. The information is not complete, you challenge that. If the information has factual errors in it, you challenge that under the basis of the accuracy of the reporting. And also, if the collector report the account prior to following the procedures that are to be followed from the FDCPA by contacting you first, along with following certain other protocols, then you also challenge it on those grounds to get the collector to be deleted. Alright, so I hope that this is helpful to you. May peace of the Lord be with you. Peace. Irony Financial Genius is out.